The conversation just ended. It went fine. Everyone was smiling. And now you're walking away, replaying every single thing you said. And all you can think is, why did I say it like that? That came out completely wrong. I must have sounded so stupid. And the worst part is, you can hear it. In your own head. The awkward pause. The word you chose that wasn't quite right. The joke that landed slightly flat. The sentence that made perfect sense inside your head and came out completely differently when it left your mouth. No one else noticed. But you did. And right now, that's the only thing that matters. Here's how it usually goes. You're in a conversation, maybe with someone you respect, or a group of people you want to like you, or even just someone you met recently, and you're still in that slightly careful phase where first impressions still feel fragile. The conversation flows. You contribute something. In the moment, it feels okay. Normal, even. But the moment you leave, or sometimes even before you leave, while you're still standing there, the internal audit begins. You start reviewing what you said, and something in the way you review it changes everything. The things that sounded clear in real time now sound clumsy in replay. The comment you made sounds less intelligent than you meant it to. The way you explain something sounds confused. And the longer you listen to the replay, the more certain you become that everyone in that room had the same thought, that you weren't quite as sharp, quite as articulate, quite as impressive as you needed to be. And then comes the specific kind of shame that comes with this. Not loud shame, not dramatic shame, the quiet kind. The kind that sits in your chest on the drive home and makes you go slightly silent in a way that other people around you probably don't even notice. Here's what's actually happening inside your brain. When you have social anxiety, your brain runs a very particular kind of post-conversation evaluation. Psychologists call it the self-focused attention loop. During and after a social interaction, your attention turns inward, not outward toward the other people and how they actually responded to you, but inward, toward your own performance. How you sounded, how you came across, how the words felt coming out. And the problem with inward attention is that it's unreliable. When you review your own speech from the inside, from the position of the person who experienced all the doubt and the uncertainty while talking, it sounds much worse than it actually was. You hear the hesitation that no one else noticed. You hear the verbal stumble that lasted half a second but feels enormous in memory. You hear the slight imprecision in the phrasing. And your anxious brain, whose job is to flag social threats, amplifies all of it. It's like listening to a recording of your own voice. It never sounds the way you expect. It always sounds slightly wrong, not because your voice is wrong, but because the internal experience of it is different from the external reality. And here's the deeper thing that most people never say out loud. The fear of sounding stupid is rarely just about intelligence. It's about acceptability. Somewhere underneath the worry about the clumsy sentence or the imperfect explanation is a much quieter, much older fear that if people see the unpolished version of you, the version that stumbles and hesitates and doesn't always find the right word immediately, they will decide that you are not quite worth their time, not quite someone they want to keep around. This fear doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from a history of moments, small moments, sometimes, where being seen as less than sharp had a cost, where saying the wrong thing in the wrong room changed how someone looked at you, where your words became evidence that was used to judge you in a way that stayed with you longer than it should have. And so now, even in rooms that are safe, even with people who are genuinely not judging you, your brain runs the evaluation. Automatically, relentlessly, looking for the evidence of the mistake before anyone else finds it. If this is familiar, if you've ever left a conversation feeling smaller than when you entered it, not because of anything anyone said, but because of the voice in your own head that started talking the moment you walked away, I want you to understand something. The version of yourself that sounds stupid in your head is not the version that other people experienced. The gap between how you sound to yourself in memory and how you actually came across in real time is almost always much larger than you think. The imprecision you remember, the hesitation you cringed at, the sentence that came out wrong, these were footnotes in that conversation. You made them into chapters. You are not as difficult to listen to as your anxious brain believes. You never were. The voice that tells you that you sounded stupid is not an honest critic. It is a frightened one. And frightened critics are almost never right about what they're afraid of.